Welcome to the GainzCast. I'm Marc Lobliner alongside
Matt Marano.
So we have no guests today, but we've had Chris Jones, we've had Alan Roberts, Brandon Curry, Brandy Curry. Who do you guys want to see, man? Because we can get some people on here. There's some people coming on. I think we're gonna have some good people come on after the Olympia, man.
Hell yeah.
Olympia's gonna be crazy, bro.
A lot going on with that.
Dude, so we're going to be there. We're going to be at booth 318.
Yes.
And we're going to be giving out big O bar samples. That's right, the big O bars.
We're giving everyone big O's.
Yep, we are. And we're not afraid of any of that COVID stuff. So we're going to be hugging the shit out of people, man. We're going to be humping people's legs. We're going to be having a good old time. We are not afraid of carrying or passing on any diseases because God knows Matt has a ton of them.
Too many.
You know, did you see that? My favorite meme of all time is where it has like COVID negative, and then it has like
all
herpes,
the STDs are positive.
Check, syphilis, check, chlamydia, check. I was like, dude, that is such a legendary fucking.
It's far too relatable for me.
Oh man, hey, dude, if you're,
I want to preface that's a full blown joke. Let's just throw that at the end there.
It's like there's a vaccination card. He has like a STD card. Like,
it's a punch card on my 10th one. It's free.
Leave it up to a Jew to have an STD punch card. You know? Yeah. It's like, I get a deal on
discounts
the 11th.
On everything.
Dude, if you've ever traveled with me, like I literally was like, I'm like, Matt, hold on, bro. I got to make sure my Qdoba app's up so I get my free bowl.
You almost fired me before I was fully hired for like not telling you about the Chipotle app sooner when we were in New York.
The Chipotle app is just amazing. Like I've eaten so many free bowls and burritos. Like everybody, Katie and I did a video a long time ago about this, and you should have every reward program there is. Like my phone is out of memory because of all the extra programs I have, and everybody's like, people think that like when you're not broke, like when you grow, like I grew up like poor, right? Like not poor, but just not with stuff. And I think poor is more of a mindset. I always had a roof over my head and I had food on the table. You know, I don't think that's poor, but you know, and you think that, okay, when you get out of that, but I think the reason some people make it is because they have that frugal mentality. You know, you look at like the cars that some of these really successful people drive. Like Warren Buffett drove the same Cadillac that was like 8 years old till his daughter was
no, it was much older. It was like a 90s Cadillac DeVille that he just kept driving until recently.
Zuckerberg was driving like a $70,000 car up until like last year. There's so many stories about that, but I think that, you know, your life is an extension. If you can save some money, that shows how frugal you are in business. And for me, it's like, dude, nothing feels better than just getting a free burrito. Like, it's like, and you don't even know it. Then you look at your app, you're like, activate free burrito. And you're in. But anyway, if you guys don't, and this is something I have, like, my wife uses Ebates or whatever it's called. It has this weird name. What's that shit called? Rakuto? Rakuto is an Italian dish. That's risotto or whatever.
That's risotto.
Fuck. Yeah, but Rakuten is another thing we use, and you just go there to go to where you're going. You get like 2%. Like my wife had some crazy numbers. Like over like 3 years, we made like $600 on it or some shit like that.
Damn.
It's crazy, but that's free money.
Yeah.
That's free money. You didn't have to do any work. You were going to buy that shit anyway.
No, a lot of people leave that on the table. Like, I have a web extension called Honey.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Honey is the bane of our existence.
I know. But
dude,
like,
honey, you're like
it saved me some money.
That's like that time you donated to the Nazi party. You know,
we don't talk about that though. Listen. So the guy outside the Kroger was very convincing. Okay.
So here's the thing about Honey. Like we can't do coupon codes at Tiger Fitness because if it's out, even if you send it like one person,
it immediately goes
out
everywhere.
For longer than 2 hours. Somehow Honey gets it, and then Chad will email like, "Who the fuck did a coupon code?" Chad is my partner at Tiger Fitness and MTS, Chad Vordameshi. And if a coupon code gets out, Chad will find it and he will kill you and your entire family. So we can't do like our affiliates. Like I don't know how like Redcon and these other motherfuckers do it. they just might as well. I bet you they just assume that they're going to get 10 or 20% less than what their sale is.
For sure.
Even though at Redcon, it's like buy one, get 32 free and a free hoodie.
How much shade am I allowed to throw?
Shit, sue Matt, not me. I mean, so. And what is that thing you have to say? Like, in our opinion, or what's the word? Like, you got to indemnify yourself. So basically, here's the deal. Like, when I go, let's say, furniture shopping, and every day it's 30% off, it makes me think maybe that mattress isn't worth as much as the price would suggest if they can afford to sell it at 30% off every day.
For sure.
Which means that it's an artificially inflated price.
Yeah.
For example, I'm not going to say the name. Bodybuilding.com might be the name, but it might not be, just to throw some, curiosity in there. I hear that allegedly, potentially for entertainment purposes only, that their prices are marked up so they can do like 30% off every day. But if you actually look at the price, it's the same as what everybody else is charging every day, which is something that I believe JCPenney was sued for like 5 years ago. It's like an old, but just saying, if somebody sends you, if a motherfucking company sends you an email every day saying that things are 20% off. Like, here's the thing. I went for a year and a half straight, and I'm on their mailing list because they're my competition.
Yeah.
But I went for a year and a half straight, and every day bodybuilding.com had at least a 20% off deal. Then I went there and I looked at it. I'm like, dude, this ain't 20% off. This is 20% above normal price. And then they give you 20% off. It's like one of those things where you do a bunch of work just to end up at square one.
Yes.
Like, you're just like, okay, I'm going to go, oh shit. It's like if you've ever wasted time, like with the car rental today, and you end up and you're still out. Katie fucked up on a car rental, and Matt had to hear me just go ballistic all day. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was really mad because I wasted an hour of my day with NU car rental. Like, God, who the fuck? Go with Avis, go with Alamo, go with Budget, go with Thrifty, go with one of the ones that have the big fucking buses. Hertz. But fucking, like, when you see these off brands, like some made it like 6T. Yeah. They're awesome. I like 6T. They give you good service. They have really nice cars. But like this one, I'm looking at it and I'm on the phone. I'm like, okay, so Matt is arriving on Wednesday, not Thursday, to use his car. So I'm like, I just need to add a day to this car. And they're like,
you think that'd be easy?
Can't do it.
You'd think they would just be like, hey, yeah, we can extend that for you.
So they told me to buy a day separately and then merge them, but then it turns out they can't. So I spent an hour on this, and I was at the point where I was, and they were trying to be nice, but their company sucks. And I was like, fuck.
I mean, I read my email response back to them. I'm running on 45 minutes of sleep, so I'm very aggressive today.
That's how he got his STDs. But anyway, so long story short, it's like, you always have to question things that are too good to be true, right? Like, if some price, like, I always wondered, like, how is it always like this price? And the thing is, like, we don't run many deals on MTS and on Outright and stuff like that because they're a very fair price. We make very fair margin. Like, we're not cheaping out on the brands. We're not lying on our labels. There's some companies that are really big that you might think is the good guys, when we know for a fact they're the biggest scumbags there are. So it's like, you got to trust the person you're doing business with. If the owner isn't someone, you'd be like, you know what? I think that guy'd be a good guy, Yeah. I honestly, or if he has a track record of being a bad person, then you got to like throw up the red flag. Like, if this guy crossed that ethical boundary before, what makes you think they're not going to cross it again? And it's not one company. There's multiple companies. And I'm not naming names. I didn't know. None of that was a hint. That was not a hint. Those weren't hints. But I'm just saying, or they might not have been. Or I'm just saying, you just gotta use common sense. Like, if someone can offer you all that shit. Now, we do it once a year on Black Friday. Our margins suck, but we make it up because we do tens of thousands of orders, Yeah. So we make it up on volume. And honestly, customer acquisition on Black Friday, we get all these new customers, And for us, that's worth it because we have a 92% returning customer rate.
That's amazing.
So once we get the customer, man, once we woo them with the flowers and the music and the back rub, we know they're going to be sleeping next to us every single night.
Yeah. And I mean,
we're the best at what we do.
And let's be real, like 9.5 times out of 10, someone bites into an outright bar, they're not going to another protein bar.
No.
They take a sip of MTS Whey, they're not going to buy another protein again.
It's what they call that bomb ass pussy.
Make that pull out game week.
Dude, like for some reason, all the really dirty female hip hop songs have come on the fucking. We have surround sound in our house because our house was built. We intended for us to have an office space where, you know, I don't know. I mean, we might have somebody in my office space later on. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's a space over there. My wife's office, there's a double desk. That's where Matt sits.
Yep.
Like we might have 5 people in this fucking house. It's literally built where the first 800 square feet of our house is office space. So we piped in surround sound on this bitch. And like, so our house, like all day, you'll have like Christmas music to hip hop. If I have control, it's going to be some gangster rap, some Dre, some Snoop. And so like for some reason today, no matter what station we're on, it was vagina songs. Like my type pussy.
Listen, this day, just from start till now, there's just been an obstacle of annoyance like throughout the day.
We can't get into most of it.
Like we can't get into most of it. Just
funny.
like from the beginning until now, it's just been like, what the fuck is going on?
Not bad things. I actually had a great call. We might have a new project for Outright. I talked to a new potential partner.
That's exciting.
For a new product under Outright. Good day. Started off. I'm going to be real. Like, so we went to the gym and Brent, this is not against you. Okay. This is against CrossFitters in general. Fuck those guys. So, and again, our podcast is, we might make enemies along the way and that's okay.
But not our intention here. Like,
no. I just want to say how our day started.
Yeah.
And so we went to the gym. We were really excited. It was leg day and Carbon got this new belt squad. If you guys are in Franklin, you got to go to Carbon Culture. Unfortunately at Carbon, there's only one squat rack.
But conjoined to Carbon, there's a CrossFit gym or box, whatever I don't know.
Well, it's Carbon, so I'm going to call it a gym because, you know, they're not idiots. So anyway, somebody went in the fucking squat rack and I'm like, well, we got to start out with squat.
Which is fair. If someone else is squatting and they're actually squatting, no shade at them.
We're not mad because we're like, dude, it's all good. I warmed up, did my back stretches, did my goblet squats. I was loose, man. I was like, I used the pinky first. I was lubed up, ready to go. And the dude goes and squat. I'm like, cool, man. We'll go next door to CrossFit. So I walked over. It's just one door separating the two, but it's like you enter a whole new world. Yeah. It's like, have you ever seen
that thin wall between the vagina and the anus? What?
Oh, you mean the rectal vaginal membrane?
Yeah, that one.
Have you ever seen Stranger Things?
Season 1,
where you go through the wall and you're in the
other side. Yeah,
the other side. Yeah. And so anyway, well, it was called the upside down.
The upside down. That's what it was.
So you walk through this door and you go into CrossFit. It's like you're in the fucking upside down, right? So you walk in and they're about to start a class. There's a coach and 4 people.
No, there's a coach and 3 people. There are 4 people total.
Okay, so and there's 6 areas to squat.
Yes.
We go, hey man, you know, I know you guys have a class, but can we use one of the squat racks to squat? Because there's fucking squat racks and bars. And so anyway, so he goes, well, we'll be done. You come use it at 9.
It was 8:03.
And at that point, I was like, I woke up pretty aggressive. I didn't wake up aggressive. Maybe I'm excited for the week, right? And
it's a big week.
So I'm like, all right. So instead of like, I'm like, he goes, well, you can wait till I said, what did I say? Like hell no or something?
Absolutely fucking not.
Oh, I said absolutely. And I said, I was going to say something mean or debate him like there's 6 squat racks.
4 of
people.
You. And all you're doing is air squats.
So in the program, it literally said air squats, the programming for their WOD, for their workout of the day or whatever. So I'm like, I'm about to lose my shit. So I'm like, cool. So we ended up literally, it's across the parking lot. We just went over to Franklin Athletic Club and squatted there. And it was a great workout. But that's how our day started. So what I'm getting at is fuck CrossFitters.
Seriously.
Now fuck that guy. I don't even like that guy. I hope I see him and I hope he sees this. Fuck that guy. Like, fuck you. Like guy. You elitist fuck.
It's really just that one guy.
Nah, man. Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Fuck
no, that's
him.
what I'm saying.
If I didn't have a gym membership to a gym right behind that gym, I would have been mad. We ended up having a good workout.
It was
really,
a good workout.
really good workout. But I was looking forward to losing that belt squat. But that guy,
That one guy.
and I immediately texted Brent, who's the owner and my friend. I told him about it. He's like, "It's cool, man. Thank you for not making a scene." But that was our morning, man. And I don't know what the moral of that story is, but man, that's how it started.
I think the moral of the story is don't do CrossFit.
You know who doesn't do CrossFit?
Roelly Winklaar?
Roelly Winklaar doesn't do CrossFit. Just like, that was good. Thank you. So Roelly Winklaar isn't going to do the Olympia. And it's
Unfortunately, because I think a lot of people were looking forward to seeing him on stage.
I had him as a top 5. I had him number 3. I had him
You had
number
him
3.
I had him 4. I had him 4.
So what happened is he was flying back, and they had a layover in Turkey because there's very few direct flights from fucking Kuwait to the U.S.
Oh, he was in Kuwait too?
I don't know. He was somewhere in the fucking Middle East.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm guessing Kuwait then. That's
Anyway, so he went to Iraq within the past year. And like America and Iraq or whatever, like they're like, well, since he's not a U.S. citizen, nah, dude, you can't go back. So he had to get in touch with like the consulate or whatever,
Yeah.
the embassy. And they were like, cool, dude. So it looked like he was going to go back fine. And then he tested positive for COVID.
The Rona.
So it was an unfortunate chain of events. He was on the flight ready to rock. He got denied. He got approved. And in that time, he got COVID. He got tested a couple times. Unfortunately, this isn't Roelly's year, and he's getting older. So again, like there's a ticking time bomb when you're a competitor or an athlete. Like an average running back in the NFL lasts about 2 years. Like bodybuilders don't usually last that long. You look at Phil, who's 41. You look at Brandon, who's
37, 38.
37. Like they're at the end of their career, I think we'd safely say. And then you got Dexter, who's 86.
Somehow still trucking
and
along.
looking fucking amazing. I actually moved him up to 5 with Roelly out of the picture.
Yeah.
They're not going to place Dexter below 6, bro.
No. He's getting first call out for sure. It's the same thing with Jay, where Jay walked off from 4th.
So now we talked about Roelly. We could talk about something we can't show you, and that's Brandon's ass.
That looks great.
So like I don't want to falsely hype up Brandon Curry because I don't want to let you guys down. I don't want to be that guy like he's going to win. And then it ends up being when Ronnie came back missing a lat.
Let's just say like it's going to be a fucking show.
Okay. Let me put it to this. I'm going to state something. And this is something I don't usually do. If Brandon doesn't fuck up, if he doesn't over fucking carb, if he doesn't fucking be too aggressive on his carb up,
Yeah.
he will be one of the top 3 most shredded competitors to ever be at the Olympia. Brandon is not known for conditioning. He's known for beautiful round muscle bellies.
He had that one showing at the Arnold last year where his conditioning was on point.
Not
but
like
other than
this.
that,
Not like this.
Not like that.
Not like this. Again, like if you see a different Brandon than what I'm saying right now, he fucked up. Or his coach fucked up. Somebody fucked up.
And I saw him live. Like I saw him in person, and it's a different level than we've ever seen him.
I saw an unedited picture and shitty lighting. Not shitty, but not God lighting. Not like fucking... Yeah. Not like when you get that gym lighting and it's perfect and you look like Adonis.
Yeah.
Like, so it was lighting where even Brandon looked white. Cammie thought, my daughter thought it was Phil. He was so white. I'm not saying Phil's white, but Brandon's darker than Phil. Can we come to agreement on that?
What are you trying to say, bro?
I'm trying to say Brandon has darker skin than Phil.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'll let the people be the judge.
But unless they voted for Trump, they're still black. I honestly don't think either of them voted for Biden. But I think Phil, based on what I know about him, I think
he wrote it himself.
Oh shit! Well done. Well done. Man, I'm sorry. I'm getting fucking hot thinking about Brandon. I got to take off this hoodie, man. So anyway, let's talk. Nipple. Let's talk about what I see. So I've still yet to see Phil Heath. I think the only
thing we've seen is that
His
interview
face.
that he did where his face was just like, he looked like he's going to die.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I think it's just a shitty beard he was growing, honestly. Sorry, like Phil,
So-
you're a great bodybuilder. Your beard is not there.
So, I mean, if it's a facial hair competition, I think it's fair to say Brandon kills him.
Oh, Brandon's beard is on point.
Brandon's got the best black man beard I've ever seen.
It's that.
He's the
for
black
sure.
man beard Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
So if Brandon wins Mr. Olympia, he wins on body and beard.
Yes.
He's got the fucking chin strap going. I mean, it's a fucking stout beard.
It's legit.
Dude, it's a good looking beard. But so what I'm saying, guys, for those of you who think that Brandon's the underdog, last year's Olympia, Brandon, maybe compared to the best we've seen of Phil. Yeah, I'd say you're probably okay. You're probably correct.
Yeah.
But fuck, not but fuck, but damn. I literally, like, all of us in this house were like, what? Like, all of us, like, I'm like, Matt, you got to see this kid. He's like, I already showed you the picture.
I went to get content with him last week at Images for 015 and all that, and I got to see his posing sessions. Mm-hmm. Wednesday to Thursday, there was such a dramatic difference. Like Wednesday, he was flat. He looked good. He was shredded. He was in condition. What I saw on Thursday, holy shit, dude.
Dude, it's
Holy shit.
If the coach does it right, when you're at that level of muscularity and your body has done it enough times, like Brandon's, I mean, he's not young.
Yeah.
You have that muscle maturity, that graininess, and your body just kind of, and you had a year off. Guys, he had over a year off from September through December.
Yeah. And he didn't have to worry about going through a prep for the Arnold or qualifying for the Olympia like a lot of these guys have. Phil's had some time off. We don't know what he's going to bring.
And I'm not gonna lie. He also had a 015 Nutrition Exalt pre-workout. I mean, that could be the defect.
That could be it.
I think that's 100% of it. I mean,
That's true.
obviously.
It's got to be.
There's nothing else in the equation.
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. This entire Olympia is one on the back of Exalt.
I'm waiting for Greg Doucette to do a natty or not on Brandon.
Can we say his name still?
Hey, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's right up there. We're doing a natty or not on County Muscle. Chris said it best. Chris is like, I think we can all agree. The one thing the world doesn't need is a natty or not.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That shit was funny. Anyway, I'm not gonna bring it up again. I promise. But I just like to say 3 words. We were right. That's it. Y'all can draw the conclusion about that one.
For sure.
I think Alan said enough for all of us.
Oh my God, that was great. Yeah.
So Alan, the beautiful thing is he can say fuck and motherfucker
In the same sentence and make it work. I don't get it.
Fuck motherfucker, and it makes complete sense. That could be his entire sentence. The guy's awesome. I love him.
Dude, that podcast was amazing. That talk with him, and we definitely need to have him back on because there was so much more we could have gone into.
He needs to move in with us. I think that'd be fun. I mean, he likes marijuana, but we need to start doing some weed.
We don't.
I think we do. Everybody we know gets high. The only person I know who doesn't is Sean Torbati.
Okay.
Mike's not really big on weed, no. Everybody else I know smokes weed. Everybody.
I don't. You know what? It's not for me. I'm gonna stay away from it.
If we start really doing well with this 015 thing, hopefully we have the kind of money to afford real good drugs like cocaine and Quaaludes. Like Wolf of Wall Street. That's when we know we fucking made it.
I'm not fucking going anywhere.
So this is what happens. We don't have guests. We literally I have 2 words written down here.
State troopers. And the good thing is, I don't know where he's going with that topic because we did not discuss that beforehand.
I was thinking of fucking getting a list, and I'm like, fuck it, let's just talk.
No, we just roll.
Well, what I thought was really funny, bro, is I'm actually like, today's been a shit show, but while I was on the phone with the car rental place, I went on the Twitters and I'm looking, and I said this to you, like, so like you have the delegates. So, the United States, you don't have popular vote. Like we're not a democracy or a representative democracy or a constitutional republic. Right. So basically the electors from the Republicans
Democratic
and the Democrats are placing their votes, which it's legal. There's actually something in the Constitution saying you can have contested electors, which I don't know what happens, but allegedly, apparent 100%. So they went to the state capitol to place their votes, and they were in a manila envelope. Like, I thought it'd be more fucking cool, like they'd have a plaque, but they literally had a manila envelope.
I would
with
think
their
it was
votes.
in like a padlocked stainless
it was
steel
a
briefcase.
It was some old white
handcuffed
ladies.
to themselves.
It was some old white people with fucking manila envelope.
With a explosive attached to their nuts.
You're thinking of what is that? The fucking nuclear suitcase or whatever, the nuclear football?
Yeah.
Where it's a suitcase and it's like, because I saw movies where they chop motherfuckers' hands off and take it.
Yeah.
The hands dangling off. But anyway, so like the state troopers, the cops, right? The state cops are there and they're like, no, governor said we're not allowed to let you in. Call the governor's office. So it's going viral. And now there's like, everybody's like, oh, cops are fucking bootlickers. And you know, they're kind of right. I love the cops, man. I do. But one thing I've learned is that there's good and bad in everything, right, Matt? Like there's good and bad doctors, good and bad lawyers. I'm being sued by some bad ones right now. That's another part of my day that fucking sucked that I'm not allowed to talk about because Chad won't let me mention it and dox them. That's why I have a partner, because if it was up to me, I'd be fucking doxing every motherfucker. And it wasn't for anything I did, just for the record. It was it's a fucking ambulance chasing motherfucker. That's all it is.
Yeah.
When I tell you guys about it, when we squash this, as long as there's no NDA, which there usually is.
When you told me about it, I laughed. And I felt bad when I
you know
did
what I told
afterwards.
I told Alan I was supposed to have a call with him today about we're doing a video platform.
Right.
And I told Alan Roberts, I'm like, bro, I want to do, we have to have a call, but I want to do this podcast. And it was at 1. I'm like, I'm on the line with Chad and the attorneys about what the lawsuit is. He's like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's that fucking day. He's like, I'm like, but it happens like once a month where we get a stupid lawsuit that we have to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on just to make it go away. Heads up, guys. Once your company gets to, I call it the $10 million rule. Once you get to $10 million, expect your first frivolous lawsuit from an ambulance chaser. Once you get to $20 million, expect one a week or one a month. So you got a budget, I'd say, if you're a $20 million company, you got a budget at least $500K just for attorney fees. God, it's fucking terrible. It's so fucking bad. And it's all out of California. Always California. Because they're so far up, the attorneys, they're fucking lobbyists.
Yeah.
They donate so much money, all these frivolous laws. It's all California. I've never been sued out of Florida or fucking like any other state but California.
That's because they can't find the courthouse in Florida.
Fucking got to cross some Everglades.
There's an alligator in the way.
I don't know. Maybe they're all dead because they're not wearing masks. I don't fucking know. They all got COVID and died on the way. So that's, look, I don't want to talk the election. I don't fucking know. Like we could sit here and say like everybody's doing like, here's what could happen. Here's what could happen. Dude, I don't think we're on uncharted territories where we actually have an election. Where I said this to Matt says I'm full of shit. We had this conversation at the gym before we had to leave. I honestly think we could have a situation where like some states and people are like, no, not my president. And like with federalism, it's possible. Whether anybody other than Texas and Florida do it.
Well, the only state that can legally secede from the nation is Texas. Unless
they bind with other states and form a union, then it gets muddy.
But then it's
civil war.
Right. Then it's civil war. But like Texas is the only state that can do it and there not be a war out of the whole deal.
If Texas seceded, there would be a war.
No.
I think there would.
No.
I think someone would get mad.
They legally have the right to do that because they were annexed. They're the only state that was annexed.
That doesn't mean the other side is not going to be like, fuck it, we fighting. You got to be dumb to fight Texas, though.
If it's the entire U.S. military going up against Texas.
No, here's what's going to happen. Here's what would happen 100%. If Texas waged a war on the United States or against...
Texas wouldn't declare the war.
Okay.
They would just be like, peace out, motherfucker.
You know what would happen? First thing Texas would do is take out Austin. They'd fuck up their own people, get rid of all the liberals in Austin, and then they'd fight the rest of the war. It'd be like they'd have to kill from the inside out.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't see this getting to that point. I don't see it getting to a point where any state is like, we're done. I think it's just going to be a very loud December and maybe up until inauguration, whichever way it goes. But like after that, I think it's going to be like, all right, this is where we're at.
Can
now.
someone tell me what the fucking point of Rhode Island is? I drove across that. Can you explain it? It's like a 20-minute drive from border to border. You can drive around the bitch.
Yeah, it's a
Shouldn't
small
they annex that into another state?
Well, it's
like,
right next to Connecticut.
why not just make it like Connecticut and just have 49 states? Maybe let Puerto Rico in so we can round it up to 50.
I don't know.
Rhode Island, like who thought that would be a good idea to have a state that small?
Yeah.
Do they have like 0.5 electorates? I mean, I think they have 2.
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with Rhode Island, man.
I'm not a fan.
No.
Not a fan of Rhode Island. It's such a fucking stupid state. It's not even makes sense. But enough about Rhode Island. Like, so my thing is, like, I'm about back in the blue. I really am. I love cops. I love cops. We give money to cops. Like, we love cops. We give them, actually, if you scroll all the way down to Tiger Fitness, on Tiger Fitness, there's a discount for cops. But I talk to cops.
And military.
And military, yeah. Always 10%.
First responders, right?
Yep, first responders.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then what about nurses? I'm like, you're not really first. Unless you just happen to be out and see somebody passed out. You're like a second or third responder.
Yeah, they have to get to you first.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So keep doing your TikToks. But so did I say that out loud? My bad. Nah, we're so busy, but check out this TikTok.
These hospitals are totally overrun, but we can dance.
You know what I love? I think it's brave. But like, I made this analogy on Twitter the other day. Like nurses and like police officers, like pretend. No, it was on Instagram. It was on Officer Campbell, his page. So it was like, and he's a cop, and he's like, just shut up. We don't need clout. Like, we're cops. We don't need thank yous. And I'm like, yeah, well, thank you, motherfucker. So anyway, so like a nurse complaining about there being too many patients is like a plastic surgeon complaining about there being too many ugly people. Like, it's your job. You deal with infectious diseases.
Well, see, here's the thing. The plastic surgeon gets paid per patient. The nurse does not.
Yeah, but job security. You know how many nurses have been laid off because COVID who aren't in that part of the hospital?
Yeah.
Like a lot. I've known so many nurses who lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Like 2.
And instead, they're just overrunning the nurses in the COVID units, like doing 16-hour shifts. Like, why not just keep everyone on, give them a normal amount of work?
I don't know, but pretty much
They need better managers.
I still stand by this, man. I think that the vaccine scares me because the side effect list is long. It's horrible. It's not good. And if you're old and you're dying anyway, okay, great. But like for young, healthy people, like it scares me. Why aren't we recommending the vitamins and the antivirals? Like, why can't we do that?
Money.
Dude, you know how many billions of dollars that vaccine's worth? Like
a lot of billions.
Dude, so they have, and it's, you can't just like, you know, like with the like measles shot, you get like 1 and then you're done. Like this shot, you get like 2 in the beginning, like 1 and then 1 a week later. Then you get 1 like every 3 months.
For now, until they ramp it up to 1 million or whatever they're going to do. I don't know. I'm
not taking it.
Yeah, no, I don't plan on it.
And the fertility questions, like what does it do? What does mRNA do?
Okay, so that one, according to the research that I've done, which is actually a bit, it's in their tested field, they only had like 2 pregnant people like trial the vaccine.
So they need more.
So
why don't that still scares me.
Right. So it's still a question mark, but it's not, that's why they have the warning on there. It's not like this is going to cause birth defects. We're not sure because we didn't really test it on pregnancy.
Which is just as scary to me. Like, it's like mRNA.
Okay, so here's their plan. This is the plan that they're rolling out with to test on the pregnancies. There are nurses that are going to get rolled out for, it's going to get rolled out to nurses first, people in the medical profession, and there will be pregnant nurses that get this vaccine. And then they're going to closely monitor them, and they are going to be the control group for that study.
I would hate to be that nurse. I got you.
Yeah.
You know,
but they have to because of their job.
But for the record, I'm the biggest fan of this vaccine because most people won't listen to me and take their vitamin C, their zinc, their vitamin D, and their quercetin. They're not going to listen to me because I'm just a fucking idiot meathead. But they'll listen to Bill Gates, who has no college degree at all, but he's rich. Just because you can program a fucking computer doesn't mean you know about COVID.
No, my favorite joke is You're trusting Bill Gates to cure a virus. He can't even keep viruses out of his own operating system.
No shit. I remember the one time he was presenting the new Windows and it crashed right there. He's like, well,
amazing.
these things happen. I'm like,
you should have this dialed down by now.
Hey, that should never happen to Steve Jobs. Jobs better than Gates.
100%.
Why couldn't Gates have died? Like Jobs would have never done this shit.
I don't think Jobs would have been like, hold on, let me take a crack at this vaccine. He would have been like, yeah, I'm going to innovate some computer shit and make more billions. You guys have fun over there.
Did you see the Bill Burr comedy skit on Gates? Not on Gates, on Jobs?
No.
Where he's like, yeah, I want to take all this shit I'm listening to here. I will put in this little fucking thing. I want it by December. It was just fucking great.
Love that.
Dude, Steve Jobs was the guy.
Oh, he was the man.
He is the man. He wore one outfit, but he had like 20 of them.
Well, yeah. Well, that was because he didn't want to have to choose at the beginning of the day. He was like, this is what I like. I'm going to wear it.
Fucking guy. Like Jobs over Gates.
Oh, for sure.
If anybody thinks Gates is better than Jobs, you just don't like you. Like, you're not cool. You're not
Honestly, though, it's funny, though, because Steve Jobs also looked more intimidating.
Yeah.
Just like his facial expression. I would not be scared to punch Bill Gates in the face.
I want to punch Bill Gates in the face.
For some reason, even though I think I could take Steve Jobs in his prime, would not punch him in the face just because he looks like he is a psychopath.
So you're looking like pre-fruitarian.
Right. Like he just, or like prime Mac Apple Jobs. Like he looks like he has a knife and he will stab you in the throat.
He looks like a very kind of almost psychopath. Yeah. Like he's got that look.
Like you look at him, you're like, you either did a lot of really cool shit or you were a serial killer. And I don't know which one, but I'll wait till the documentary comes out because there definitely will be one on you.
No shit. But the world's going. I think 2020 is the only difference between 2020 and any other year is the lockdowns. Other than that, 2020, the shit that's happened, like we've had weird political shit before. This is different, but it's not out of the ordinary. Like 2016 was a weird election. Like Trump won.
I mean, 2000 was weird.
Yeah.
I was in third grade, so I don't fucking know, but it was weird.
I was 20. I was 20 years old.
I was 7.
Dude. But
no, I was 8. Well, let me do math.
It was December 7th is when Gore finally was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
With the hanging chads. And see, the thing is, we didn't have Twitter back then. That was the big deciding factor. Twitter.
Social media is really what's causing, well, not causing it, but like exposing a lot of this.
I think, you know what's funny is the Republicans and shit and the conservatives, they complain about Twitter and censorship.
That's how they won.
Trump wouldn't have been president if it wasn't for Twitter, bro. Twitter won that presidency for Trump because he had a direct line to talk to the American people.
Yeah.
I think Twitter's great. I tried Parler. And it's fucking horrible. Like, it's so bad.
All the conservative knockoffs of the big social media apps, they're just little blips. They're going to fade away.
Rumble is I can't even figure it out. I'm a
Rumble's the worst. We have 4 views.
I'm looking right now. I have 388,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have a little I have a little counter over there. I can't figure Rumble out. And I'm not a stupid man. I got a pretty high IQ. And Rumble is like, okay, so I upload it to my page and then I have a channel and then people give me a Rumble, whatever the fuck that is.
Sounds sexual.
It's just a stupid platform. Like it
sounds sexual or like violent. I don't know which one. It could be both.
It doesn't even make sense. Rumble just does not make sense. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm not a fan. I get it that conservatives are tired of being banned from stuff, but like, do a better job. Why do the liberals have all the good developers? Like, why?
I mean, that's really it. It's just the liberals are the ones that are creating this app. And people are like, oh, you're taking away freedom of speech. I'm like, it's still a company that can deplatform people, as much as I hate that fucking word. They can deplatform people based on their, like, McDonald's can kick you out if you come in and start jacking off on the fries. But like,
I think the issue is that Section 230.
Yeah.
Where it's a public platform, so they're not liable to be sued.
Okay.
That's the issue. So it's not like, it's a little bit different because 230, you remove 230.
Then yeah.
I don't think they should remove it. I think they need to revise it. I think there are some, because it's like when you make a law like that, and you're in something as dynamic as technology,
it has to adapt.
It has to adapt to what's happening. And right now, let's be real. Like, I love Twitter. I think I've had a 24-hour block once. And I say some stupid shit on Twitter. They've been very lenient for me, and I don't push the boundaries. Like, I don't threaten to kill people. I don't dox people. You know, I talk shit, but Twitter is going to be the best because the Iron Sheik is there. I
use my Twitter is the GainzCast Twitter at this point. Like, I don't even use my own anymore. And it's really, I just tweet funny shit about buying condoms and retweet the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I go in, but I mean, that's part of how you grow Twitter. Like, I would go in. I'm so transparent about this. Like, I like discussing stuff. But if I didn't have a business, I wouldn't tweet or do any of most of the shit I do. Maybe a couple things, but by growing your base, it gives you more of a voice.
If I wasn't involved with this, or, you know, even before this with being a rep for MTS, Tiger Fitness, all that, I probably would have just had Instagram for my art.
Yeah.
And try to have like gone with that, but like I wouldn't have posted any fitness stuff or whatever.
Instagram, I like Instagram the most. Instagram's my favorite.
Yeah. It's easy to block people. It's easy just to deal with. It's like the most user friendly out of all.
I love Instagram. I don't care what people say. I know Twitter people hate Instagram. That's usually because they're ugly. Yeah. Like, Instagram's about Instagram's all about the body and self-absorption. I'm like, yes, it fucking is. And that's why you don't belong there. Like, have you noticed, like, I'm not going to lie, like, on both sides, there are some good looking people. Cernovic's good looking. Jack Posobiec's good looking. You got some liberals who are pretty good looking, but most of the top liberal and conservative pundits are some of the ugliest, weird looking motherfuckers you will ever see in your life. You got certain, like, there are some like Dave Riaboy. We're going to meet him. You're going to meet him at the Olympia. Great guy, good looking Jewish man, just like us. But I mean, if you
thought we were the only two.
Bill Goldberg.
But
if you look at the pundits who get all the views, all the retweets on Twitter, you know, from the left side, that Rupar guy, they have these crazy fucking eyes. And then you got the Republicans as well. Some of them look like garden gnomes. Like, these are some of the ugliest people you will ever see. I mean, on both sides, Twitter is like Instagram for ugly people because they don't have to fucking post their pictures and they could just say shit and they get followers. And these are people who never got laid. These are people who never got pussy, never got dick, either side. And they're ugly. And so they're on Twitter and they just say like, Trump is fucking vile and mean, or like, libs, own the libs. And all of a sudden they're like, yeah. And they're getting all that attention they never got from the opposite sex or the same sex with every persuasion. And they're like, oh, this is fucking great. I'm the man. If they took their ugly face to fucking Instagram, oh, it'd be so bad. And that's what's funny is that somebody asked me the other day, Matt, they're like, why are all the fitness people conservative? And they're, I'd say 90% black.
I'd say a
white,
really good portion.
Black and white, not even just white, but every color of fitness people are usually like, fuck COVID, fuck masks. And most of them vote Trump.
Well, the fuck COVID, fuck masks is because
they're healthy.
We're the healthy ones. Yeah. We actually give a shit up at ourselves.
And despite being so vain and being about performance over everything, we take vitamins.
Right. And hold on, I got some info for you. I had a conversation with someone that's actually in the medical field.
Okay.
So the reason they don't label obesity as a comorbidity is because it encompasses too many things. And they want to make it sound way more complicated, because if you simplify it, people will understand. So it's all a money grab. So they say heart disease, hypertension, respiratory illness,
it's usually just
blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And it's really just code, like extended code for fucking fat.
Yeah.
Because if you simplify it, in PC culture, you can't call someone fat. So they have to extend all these comorbidities.
I do.
When really, right. Of course we do. But at the end of it, it's really just, hey, if you weren't so fucking fat, this whole thing would not be an issue anymore.
If we weren't as fat, not saying we could still be fat, but not as fat.
Like, no, because it's like,
let's decrease fatness by 20%. Let's not get rid of it.
There's a comedian, Daniel Sloss, where he's Scottish. And he was like, Americans are fat, but like not just fat, like, oh, they're fat. Like it's actually genuinely impressive how fat we are compared to the rest of the world.
So yeah, my whole thing is with fitness people, you know, we've been doing this vitamin shit and like even the guys on steroids, like they're usually taking liver support and all these different vitamins. Yeah. That is basically the cocktail to cure COVID or to treat it. I'm not saying anything treats or cures COVID, for the record. YouTube, please don't block this. But I'm saying that, you know, like Dr. Zelenoff.
It's okay if they do. We're still on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find it.
There you go. So the bottom line is, so basically a lot of these conserva bros on like Instagram, they're in good shape and they're fitness guys, but they tend to stay on Instagram because they're really good looking and good looking people get views. If some of these guys, these hideous creatures on Twitter came on Instagram, that's why I kind of like doing both.
Right.
Because I do, and I'm not saying this, look, I'm not the greatest looking guy in the world. My face might be janky, but I have a good body. And for some, I'm a bodybuilder. I have muscles. So I like posting that. And and Instagram for me is my style, but I like being able to go on Twitter and just rile shit up. And I also post my physique pictures on Twitter to differentiate. So let's look at it this way. Everybody on Twitter, everybody on Instagram, including me, is marketing to you. Their goal is to 100%. Build a base to sell you shit.
Even if people say, oh, this is my personal account, they're building a brand. As soon as you're on Instagram or Twitter, you're building a personal brand, a personal identity that you're publicizing, even if your shit is private. I don't give a fuck if your account is private. You're still building a personal brand, even if it's a private, more exclusive brand at that point.
The difference is we're telling you. We're honest. Like, yeah. I'm on these, I'm giving information, I'm giving my opinion. It's like, oh, well, you're risking your career because of Twitter. I'm like, no, Twitter, I went from when I first talked, I told you a story, man. I talked to Mike Cernovic at the end of 2019. Yeah. And he's like, we were talking about just bro shit, right? He's like, you should go on Twitter. And I said, fuck, I hate Twitter. He's like, dude, you would crush it on Twitter. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, what do I talk about? He said, just talk about shit you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Just be you. You're a smart guy. You know what you're doing. And I'm like, okay. And so then I just started doing it. I'm up to almost 42,000 followers in a year. Went from 11 to 42 because of Mike Cernovic. Everybody's like, whoa, you're on Mike Cernovic's nuts. I'm like, yeah. Mike Cernovic is the only guy in my life who has helped me without asking for anything in return. In my entire life, nobody has helped me like Mike Cernovic. That's why people think, oh, well, why? Well, he'll say dumb shit. Be like, you agree with him? Like, I agree with everything he says. Or at least I'm not going to openly disagree with him because he had my back. Like, he's a good dude. He's a solid guy. And I don't agree with everything he says. I agree with a lot of what he says. But a lot of what Mike Cernovic says, he knows the game.
Oh, for sure.
There's
some things that he tweets and I'm like, he's trying to rile shit up right now. Like, intentionally. But I see what he's doing, and
awesome guy.
I like it.
I always tell people, if you knew Mike, the real Mike Cernovic, you'd be like, because a lot of what you see online isn't the real person. You know, you're seeing a lot of who he is. Like, he's a very confident male. He's a guy who loves training. He's a guy who loves his family. But like when he goes on and starts fucking like you know, like Malcolm Flex over here, right? Like, like, so he comes in and, you know, he'll fucking ruin people's world and just fucking trash him. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. So you don't get to see all aspects. You just get to see one side of people on social media. But so we'll be at the Olympia this weekend.
Yeah.
We're just getting ready for it. Hopefully we're able to get a car. And
we do need to figure that out still, right?
No, it's fine. Worst case, we just eat it. And that's probably what we're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening, man. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically everywhere. We're hosted by Anchor. What they do is you upload to Anchor, and we're not getting paid for this. We did have an ad running for a while, but Anchor is pretty cool. Anchor.fm, where if you upload to them, they basically get it out to all the others. So it saves you a lot of time. We're on YouTube, of course, youtube.com/GainzCast, GainzCast on every single format. And of course, follow us on Instagram. He's
Matt Marano.
And I'm Marc Lobliner. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time on the GainzCast.